So State Auditor Diana DiZoglio has finally announced that she is filing a lawsuit to force the audit in Massachusetts. What are the details on that?
So I did a post, and I'll read it here. And this was a few days ago. 462 days after 72% of Massachusetts voters passed a ballot question for the state auditor to audit the legislators. That's important. State auditor to audit the legislators, because everyone has their own auditor, but they hire their own guy. And a lot of times you hire the guy, they're going to do what you want.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So she filed a lawsuit compelling an audit. And the point of this is she's talking about receipts and state contracts. And she says, and she brought up a really good point. She said that the state legislative committees actually audit the legislative branch for contracts and receipts. So when the argument of separations of powers, the legislative branch audits the executive branch already through committees. So, and what she's saying is she wants to see is contracts and receipts. And that's the biggest thing. And they're just denying that. So I can't find anything that says that this is unconstitutional. My research shows that it's not, that the state AG actually does validate it for constitutionality before you even collect the signatures. So now this is a quote I love from her. She says, "I've been asked by fellow Democrats to stop talking about the audit because it's her and other Democrats," because she is a Democrat. "I remind them that it's the law-breaking behavior of those who have a D near their name that are acting like dictators and not Democrats." And it's exactly right. It's like I've never seen higher than 72%. Marijuana passed at 52%. Most ballot questions don't even pass. If they do, they barely pass. 72%. That means Democrat, Republican, and Independent all want this.
It's overwhelming, yeah.
It's overwhelming. She's a Democrat, and they're still like, sorry, can't have it. And now she has another ballot question, which is they're also governor's office, legislative office, and judicial branch are immune to freedom of information requests. So you can't get information out of them. You can't audit them. But in Massachusetts, we have no king protests against Trump. But no one cares that you have the most untransparent, probably state in the country that ignores 72% of the vote.
So I don't know if you have it in front of you, but I know she uncovered, what was it, like $11 or $12 million worth of fraud recently. What was that all about?
So those are snap fraud. You probably saw there was one. I think it all stems from this. I think the 12 million was stemming from the. I think they were from Haiti. Two guys from Haiti did more revenue in a like 800 square foot convenience store than an average like Stop and Shop. Wow. Like I forget the exact number it was. And it was a snap fraud, and it was just people, I used to see, again, in Massachusetts, I think it was Deal, before he ran for governor, he put up a bill, and it got shot down, to just put photo IDs on the snap cards, on the EBT cards, and that got voted down. That was probably
unpopular, right?
And I used to, because I do a lot of stories out there and cover a lot of stories, there was one lady caught for shoplifting, and she had like 7 EBT cards on her. Each one was all on a different name.
Wow.
She can use them because there's no photo ID. And the guy at the register making minimum wage ain't gonna care. But if you mandate an ID and they actually got to look at you, so when we go get cigarettes, they make sure you're 21, those kind of things. It's not a hard thing for a clerk to like look at your ID and say that's not you. But it's a known thing to people who get EBT cards to give it to like a drug dealer on 50 cents on the dollar. So if I'm getting $400 a month in EBT, give me $200 cash, and then you can have my EBT card, and they just use it all year long. So it's a lot of fraud out there, and she's uncovered a lot of fraud. It's not just SNAP, a lot of fraud in everything. And so again, we have lost confidence in leadership that says, sorry, unconstitutional, next. You just say, you can't just say it. You got to approve it. So now she's going to court. So it has to go to the Supreme Court, of Massachusetts. But guess who's on the Supreme Court of Massachusetts?
Who?
Maura Healey's ex-girlfriend, other people that she's put on there. I think Baker has put on there, but these are people that even Baker, you could say he's Republican, put someone on there, but it has to get approved through the Democrat, system. So he's going to put someone on there who's not. So this is like they're going to go through a friendly court system to the legislators, and we all see how that happens. When you have, I think Massachusetts has a major issue here with this, because I'm not convinced that even when it goes to the courts, I think it needs to go to an independent court. Like, so if someone can't get a fair trial, you go to another community, right?
Yeah.
Why not like bring this in front of the feds instead of the state system? Because we have a system here where governors are putting their ex-girlfriends on Supreme Courts, and then of course they're tied in with these legislators, the leaders out there. So it's just it's a small family up in Beacon Hill. And now you think Beacon Hill judges are going to like side with Auditor DiZoglio? I'm not sure it will.
So how would you even go about bringing it to the feds though? Like how would that even be possible?
I'm just saying that they'd have to agree to it, I think. But she's going to bring it in front of the Massachusetts Supreme Court because it's a state issue. And if they say, sorry, it's unconstitutional, it dies. And it's like, I think that's it's a sham. It becomes a kangaroo court where it's like you're bringing a case in front of your friends, trying to say that guy over there is a bad person. You there, that person's friend, please find them guilty. They're all in small circles up in Beacon Hill. They all know each other, from the judges to the legislators to the executive branch. DiZoglio, they don't like her because they say she has an axe to grind. Well, she probably does. Maybe she got personally something wronged over there, but so what? She's a Democrat going after Democrats.
So yeah, with her specifically, like, what do you see her future being? Do you think she'll run for some type of higher office?
She's clearly not running for governor because she'd ought to be like running. People have asked her to run. I think she's doing her job. If my job was to audit, 50 hours a week, I'm going to audit. And the idea is like, as she audits, she finds so much money that is corrupted. And then you're saying, you can't audit us though. She's not like, I don't think she's done a single audit, and maybe she's done hundreds or thousands that said, ooh, we found like you actually didn't spend more money. You actually like saved money to the taxpayer. It never, when I interviewed Carol Fayola, and she, talk about the Braga Bridge, I'm like, it never goes the other way. It never goes, we estimated this would cost $1 million and it only cost $500,000.
So this is how we get $70,000 rugs in the State House. That's how that happens.
It always doubles and triples, and they just like shrug their shoulders and move on. And we just keep passing budgets. We had to find supplemental money for like $2 or $3 billion more than we budgeted for last year, because they overspend. They never underspend. They always overspend. And this is what we're dealing with. And it's like, but you can't audit. We always overspend, but you can't audit. When I say audit, outside audit. And who cares? If I'm doing math right, who cares who audits it? Put it online, let us all audit it. And they're saying, oh, it's online. Yeah, it's audited. Yes, the audit that has been doing by someone you're paying is online, but it doesn't get you down to the weeds of like the receipts and like all these kind of things. And that's what she wants. She wants the receipts to prove.
So is there like a court date set for this yet, or a timeline?
No, it's just being filed right now. And I think Minogue is going to help fund it, and other Republicans. It's kind of funny because they see it as an opportunity, but I think it's going to end up being, she's trying to, what I heard for Diana DiZoglio is she wants it to be not cost the taxpayers a penny. So she wants it to be funded by, like outside entities. But
this is the number one thing we see these governor candidates campaigning on right now, right?
Yeah. The problem is now you're getting, I think that taints the waters if you have Republicans funding the audit now, because now it's like, now it's an axe to grind.
Yeah.
I think it should be taxpayer funded, and it can't be that much money.